Before we get this video started, I want to give a shout out to a Kickstarter that's going on right now. A longtime subscriber of mine, he told me he wanted to remain anonymous. He's involved with this. I'm not sure to what capacity. I don't know if he's working on the development team or not. So I went and checked out the Kickstarter. He said, don't promote it unless it's something you think you like. I did. I checked it out and I really like it. I love the art style that they got going for. I like the concept of the game. It's kind of an action RPG 2D game. With some really nice art. I really like the art style, like I said. And this team is a team working out of the Dominican Republic. That's not somewhere I hear about a lot when it comes to video game production and whatnot. So I definitely want to support that. And it just looks like a really cool game. Like I said, I would not support it if I didn't think it was cool, and I wouldn't show you guys or whatever in this video if I didn't think it was something that was cool. So I would say go check it out for yourself. If it's something you think you would like, definitely hit up the Kickstarter. Support the game. I am doing so because I think it's a really cool concept and I like what they're doing. And these are 9-to-5 guys who are doing this in their free time basically, and that's the kind of stuff I like to support. So yeah, check it out. Munchters, really cool looking game. All right, so I'm not one to pull my own leg, or is that the right saying, or toot my own horn or that kind of stuff. But I'm gonna kind of do that in this video because I said a long time ago, early 2017, a few months after the Switch came out, it was probably going into the fall before we know what fall games we were gonna get, that I thought that the Switch could get major third-party support. It could get the games that were current gen, that were working and running on PS4 and Xbox One. And I think some people thought that was crazy, but I think a lot of people liked that video and agreed with me. It's one of my more popular videos, and it turns out that I'm more right than I realized. Now, I had predicted that a game from the 360 would come, and this has something to do with what I'm talking about. And that game is this game right here. Maybe a couple months ago, we learned that this was coming to the Switch, and this is part of my reasoning for why I thought many other, current gen games would come, because I did a little bit of research. I did a little reading, Some people still do that, and I think a lot more people should. I just kind of read up on, the Switch's hardware, what kind of software it supported, what kind of engines, all that kind of stuff. In doing so, I predicted that this game was coming, and it just seemed like a good fit. I don't know. I wasn't, doing any research beyond that. I just thought it was a good fit, and it was an engine that the Switch supported. And among reading that and just kind of reading people's reactions, people who are tech people and what they were saying, I was like, I feel pretty confident in making this video, that people should respect the power of the Nintendo Switch. And not only because I thought it could handle current gen games and games coming out in the future at that point in 2017, it was just because I was marveling at this tiny little device that, especially after you take the Joy-Cons off, it's like a Fire, what is it, Amazon Fire pad or tablets or whatever they are. It's not the little 6-inch one. It's like that size, and it was putting out games that I hadn't seen those tablets put out. And I just marvel at the fact that it was this tiny little device that could put out graphics at that capacity. And so I put all that together and I said I feel confident in the fact that the Switch could run these games, obviously not to the same quality of a PS4 or an Xbox One, but it can certainly run these games and run them well. Don't take my word for it. Listen to what I said almost 2 years ago. If the console sells and it continues to sell like it is, you're going to see those multi-plats come over in some capacity. Maybe they won't have all the features, but if you just look at them and play them, they won't be that big of a difference, especially, again, compared to like what the Wii had of the visual difference. And we're talking standard definition and high def, along with, the handicap of the RAM and just, you know, texture qualities and all that stuff. But it still got those multiplats because it sold well. You should look at this little teeny thing and marvel at what it can output. There isn't a game out today that I think couldn't be on the Switch. I'm sure there are going to be some games in the future at some point, maybe. Yeah, so there you have it. And lo and behold, we get this E3, and you know, there were rumors going into it about a certain game that we would get, and I wasn't really sure. It wasn't because I didn't think it would be able to work on the Switch, but I was worried about that one issue that I thought a lot of these games would have is the storage media. It's the size of the cartridges and the cost and all that stuff. And I was just worried that, you know, why would the publishers pay for that and then have to downscale their game on top of it? And they did it. So let's look at that game that got predicted, or not predicted, but got basically leaked beforehand. And it's, see if you can, I don't want to get too much light on it. Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, which I think is wild that is coming to the Switch. And again, it's not because I didn't think Switch could run it. The Switch could obviously run it at a lower fidelity, but I was worried about the cartridge size. And so the rumor is, you know, I guess it's a rumor because it's not really been proven yet. Maybe there was a tweet or something by CD Projekt Red saying that the game was going to fit on one cart. And so you would think that cart would be a 32 gigabyte cart, being at the size of this game. And like I said, they're putting in the DLC as well. So it's a complete edition, all in one cartridge. Now, I obviously own this game, beat it on the Xbox One, as you can see. Well, you can't see that I beat it, but you can see the game. And, you know, I had my fill with it. So, but the thing is, if they can get this game with all the DLC, which I haven't played any, I have one DLC pack, I can't remember the name of it. But if they can get this game and all the DLC onto one cart, I'm going to go buy it again. And yes, at $60 because, again, I would like to support the effort. But the surprise was this game, Alien Isolation. This game isn't as big as this game. It's more, I don't say linear, but it's more kind of a linear focused game, story focused game, horror, you know, elements, you know, Alien, you could probably guess. And it's about, you know, basically going back to the core of the first movie, which is really good. It's like one alien that you keep kind of running from for the whole time. You don't really have the weapons you need. You know, it's a survival horror game, and it's a really, really good one. And nobody really saw this coming. There was no prediction or anything like that. There was no rumor or leak or anything like that. And again, another what they call it, another current generation game coming to the Switch. And looks like I was right about this stuff. So again, it wasn't like I was doing some kind of voodoo magic. It was just me kind of reading, you know, about the Switch's capabilities, and I understood that things are scalable, and a lot of people don't understand that. And I just feel like, you know, people want this Nintendo to have these types of games, and when they get them, do you support them? Now, I'm kind of in the middle. I don't know what to tell you. Because it's like, well, if you want to keep getting these games, you have to support these kind of games. But then there's the other side. It's like, well, The Witcher 3 obviously got a visual downgrade from the Xbox One, PC, obviously, and PS4 version. And so do you buy that version, and it's going to be more expensive than you can get this game for now? Do you buy that version or not? And I'm in the camp of, if you only have a Switch, and this is a game that you saw and you're like, yeah, definitely want to check that out, then I would say go out and buy it for the Switch. You don't have any other way to play it, so do so. Now, if you don't have a Switch, or if you don't only have a Switch, you have other consoles to get the game on. Obviously, the better value and all that stuff, visuals and all that stuff, is on another console or PC. So, but then again, I can't tell you that's the way you should do it. You should buy the way you feel like you should buy it. But if you're one of those people who complains about Switch third-party support, and they get it, and you're like, oh, I can't buy that, look how it looks, doesn't look as good, then you're kind of a hypocrite, because you know the Switch is not going to have games on the visual level of these other consoles. Obviously, it's not as powerful as the other consoles. Well, duh. I mean, just look at the size of it compared to the other consoles. But you want the third-party support, so you can't have it both ways. You got these other, maybe you have a Pro and a Xbox One X, and you're like, but you want third-party on Switch. Well, if that's the case, here it is. you can't like ignore it because it's getting that stuff. Now, obviously day and date, it's a little harder for that. Obviously, we can see that definitely 2.5 years in. It's a little harder to get those types of games. Day and date, big, but again, even if it got those games, people complaining, would you go out and buy the Switch version of that game? I'm not sure. So at this point, I'm pretty happy with the third-party support that the Switch is getting. Yes, it's getting older games. Yes, there's expenses, but I talked way back about how I didn't care. As long as the effort was put in, I didn't care to pay more, the so-called Switch tax, for games that are cheaper elsewhere, because I've always done that. I did that with the N64, and I've done that with other consoles as well. So, because it's just the console, it's the ecosystem that I like, it's the console I want to play on mostly. So I used to do it for those reasons. And why I can't outright tell you to go out and buy The Witcher 3 on your Switch, because I played it on Xbox One before there was a Switch, obviously, and the optimal way to play it is on a PC or a PS4 or Xbox One. So, the choice is yours. But I think for those who want to Switch to have all these games but don't support them because they have excuses why, well, you can't have it both ways. They're not going to be visually on par. The price is going to be higher even if it's an older port, because it took time to do so. It took effort to do so. And if it's a good if it's a good port, the game looks good enough, runs well. It's not like poorly optimized, as you've seen with some lesser quality games. As long as the effort is put in, then support that effort. If you're the person that really wants these games to come to Switch. Now, if you don't care, then do whatever. But you can't be a hypocrite, is what I'm saying. Wanting these games to come, but not supporting when they come, because you got 1,001 excuses that are going to be, things that happen as far as the game not looking as well or running as well. So on the Wii U, this is something that happened as well. But rejecting those games were a little bit more acceptable because the Wii U was more powerful than PS3 and Xbox 360. But they didn't put in the effort, maybe out of fear that the game wouldn't sell or whatever reasons. Third party was tripping on Wii U. Won't get into that. So it was a little harder for me to say, yeah, you can't complain if you ain't buying these games, because these games were poorly optimized and they weren't doing, what they should have been doing. Now with the Switch, is a big success. They are putting in more effort, and you got to support that effort. And so if the game is, that's my thing. If the game is on a cart, it has to be on a cart with everything, because I don't want to download, because what's the point of that? I just have my physical copy right here, so why deal with that? But if the game is on a cart like it's saying that it's to be, which is again bananas to me, I'm gonna buy it. I bought Xenoblade Chronicles on 3DS because I just thought it was insane that the entire game was on there. It runs well. It doesn't look as good, obviously it's on the 3DS, but it ran well. It fit on a cartridge, and I marveled at that. So again, my main premise about this video is to respect the power of the Nintendo Switch. Is it as powerful? No, it's never going to be. Stop complaining about that. That's not going to happen. Yeah, it may get some kind of boost with the Switch Pro, but it's still not going to be up to par with what the other systems are doing, and definitely not PC. So stop worrying about that and celebrate the fact that it's getting, you know, current generation games. Yeah, it's getting some 360, PS3 games, but it's also getting current generation's games, and that's a good thing. You know, it's not going to get everything on time with everything else. It's just the nature of how the Switch is. It's the nature of its form factor, but damn, it is very cool to see what it is getting, and we have to support that if we are complaining about support. So that's all I gotta say for this video, guys. I'm doing a second part to this video, so I will be wearing the same shirt. It's not because I don't shower. It's just the nature of editing. So after a few days, you'll see me again, and I'll talk about something else that I thought about because of E3 and, you know, big reveals and stuff like that, and stuff that I want to see. So thanks again, guys, for watching and listening. Remember to go check out that Kickstarter for Munchsters. Looks pretty cool. If it's something you're interested in, please go ahead and support that. And thanks for watching and listening as always, and see you fools next time. Peace out.